This is our second live stream. I hope you all enjoy it. We finish up the Cane project, as well as try to learn Voronoi. Should have known better on that one, but hey, is what it is. So glad to have you here, and don't forget, in the comments, leave us ideas to design next, because if we pick yours, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna send it to you absolutely free. So get subscribed, and leave us a comment. Don't forget to call your loved ones. Keep making awesome. Enjoy the video. Welcome to another live stream. We are gonna do part 2 of the cane. If you have an idea that you want to get made from art to part, you could reach out to us, YouTube at 3dmusketeers.com. This is the vertical section of my cane, the thicker section. This is on the thinner section. We're going to put 3D Musketeers on the thicker section because, well, that's where it's going to be more noticeable. And we want to embed it rather than raise it out. And the reason for that is the way that FDM 3D printing works. By the way, get subscribed because we have videos all about how FDM 3D printing works, where I actually take a hot end, this exact hot end, and dissect it for you on video to teach you how this stuff works. The problem with this technology is when it's printing, it doesn't do great when it's overhanging, especially when it's overhanging in an area that it's never done before. So what you can do to mitigate that is add support material. I can show some support material right there. That is support material, and that helps you print in air. Let's jump into it. We're gonna be pushing in rather than pulling out. 1, I think it looks better. 2, it's easier for 3D printing. And 3, because I can. So let's jump into it. We're gonna hit the emboss tool. That's gonna do exactly what we need. We're gonna hit the face. So what we did is we're gonna select our profile, which is that. So we have one selected, that's what we need. So we've got our sketch profile. We're gonna click on the faces because this is the face we wanna wrap it around. And freaking look at that! And if you look, it's pulling away, but Grant, you said earlier that we're not gonna pull it away. You're right, we're gonna push it in. And that's all about the depth. So it's measuring the depth from this face. And instead, we're gonna go negative, but we don't wanna go too negative. So let's look at going, I don't know, 1 millimeter deep. And to do that, we're not just gonna hit 1, because all that's gonna do is make it less. We're gonna go negative. And there you go. You can see that it's cut in. We've got the 3, but the work's not done. I also realized I only chamfered one side of these things before we went ahead and did this. But then we get to show you why and how to fix that. So we got it done because, you know, magic. Now we're gonna do one of my favorite things inside of Fusion. It's the fillet, and it is key F. So we're gonna select the face here, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna add a round over everywhere. And since we went in 1 millimeter, let's look at and see what 0.5 millimeter it doesn't like it. Where are we mad? And that's the other issue that you get with this kind of thing. We may not be able to add a fillet. Let's look at trying to add a really tiny one. We can add it, and there you go. It adds a corner round. We're using a rolling ball corner type. I think it just looks the best. You can look at using setback. That's on you. We have the fact that we don't have any chamfers on this side or over here, right? No chamfers. All right. So let's look at when this occurred. It occurred right here. We had it go to there, okay. Now we want to go back to here. Interesting, it looks like it should have transferred, but it clearly didn't. So let's see what we did to cause that problem. So we're gonna roll the history back. You know what, it's just not happy, so we're just gonna redo it. I believe this was a 0.5 millimeter. Yeah, it's a 0.5 millimeter chamfer. So we're gonna do a chamfer just to fix all of this up. And that chamfer is going to help ensure that the hardware that we're installing, both the nut and the bolt, can fit in adequately. There we go. We got our matching chamfer. Click OK. And now we're going to hope things don't break. So we have the history slider down here. This allows us to go back and forth as often as we need. So let's take a look and see what happens. It got it. All right, so now that we have it, Let's just go all the way and see what happens. No, all the way. There we go. Fusion's gonna think a little bit. Now, all we have to do is do the exact same thing all the way up. So let's work on it. Let's do a sketch. We're gonna do it on that plane. On this one, we're going to go to create. We're gonna go to text. We're going to click somewhere just like that, give or take. Oh, there we go. All right, so we use, apparently it's an Adobe font, so hey, let's find it. It's called Claderon URW. That is another one of our in-house fonts. I got Claderon BT. I like that. Let's see what the regular looks like. That's way too thick. All right, let's go up to 15. That should be okay. I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens. All right, so I liked the light BT last time, but we're going down to 15, is that right? Yep, we're going down to 15. Let's get the 3 adjusted as well. All right, so let's just make sure that everything is going to work appropriately here. Move the sketch palette back to where it belongs. Let's take a look here. We have, and see, there's the thing, right? You have a kerning issue on these because they're not like proper fonts. I want to see if we can get more fillet in there. Let's see if we can put in like a 0.5 millimeter fillet action. Hell yeah, we can. And that's the difference between a good font and a bad font, ladies and gentlemen. But that is really sharp and is not going to print well. So let's first roll back the fillet. F for fillet, and also for friends who do things together. We're gonna take these two down here and we're gonna soften them up like, I don't know, 0.15 millimeters? Yeah. It's gonna make for less of an overhang, which should make it a little bit easier for things as we move forward. Since we can do a 0.5 millimeter, let's look at doing like 0.25, something to soften it up. And what that's going to do is it reduces the overhang that we need to have when we're 3D printing. See, it reduced it by 1/4 millimeter, and you might say, well, 1/4 millimeter, Grant, that's not all that big. And you'd be right, but it's 25% of how deep that is. We just reduced the amount of bridging by 25%. And that's gonna make it a lot easier for us. And honestly, that's pretty freaking regal, if I do say so myself. It looks awesome, I think. I don't care. -1. Oh, so Emboss keeps your settings, which is pretty darn cool. We're gonna do another one, so it's under Create, Emboss on the M. Face is there. Bingo bango. That's what we like to see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do F for another fillet here and here to 0.25. There we go. And it just looks a lot cleaner, right? Now realize I am displaying it this way so I can see my edges. Really how it's going to look when it's printed, visual style is just shaded. So you're not going to see a lot of the edges, but this kind of sucks to design in because you can't really discern. We are also using the stock colors of Fusion 360, which I believe is steel. If we hit A, that should bring up appearance, which it does. I'm going to go to GrabCAD because that's what we're going to need for this. Why am I doing this? I can just design my own damn cup holder. Let's do it! And because I want it to be on a couple of them, right, because, and actually, I'm going to have it for my water bottle that I use daily. Can we see it? Yes, we can. It's, I don't know, a generic one. So, to do that, we need to move some stuff. And to move some stuff, you use the Align function, which is under Modify. We go to Align, and we're going to go from here to here. Boom. We can also go another from and another to. Boom. So right now we're dealing with, if we click at the top, we hold shift, we click at the bottom, here will tell us how much room we have, which is 60 millimeters. Now, be warned, it is the minimum distance. So if we instead click here and here, again hitting shift, it shows me 24.615. That's actually from this point to that point, which is ridiculous. We don't want that. If you want to get better, you can use the measuring tool. You can click here and here, and it's going to give you the shortest distance. I'm just trying to see if it gives us... It doesn't. Ah, it does! Diameter is 28.15, so the biggest point between these two is 28.15 millimeters. The smallest is 24.615. So there you go. Escape to clear it out, and it's like it's never freaking there. So if you click on it, it highlights what it is. We can remove it here. And to find this, normally everything would be up and closed, but you can click this little arrow and it shows you all of your bodies. We click on this one here, it shows us it's that one. We'll click on this one. And since this is front 8, we can also assume that the one behind it is back 8, which it is. So we know we want to go with a 94 millimeter diameter. So before we do that, let's get some of our line and X to turn it into construction. X to get rid of it because it always wants to do another one. We're going to drag one all the way up. Again, X to get rid of it, or sorry, escape to get rid of it, X to get rid of construction. And if you look up here, as I hit X, it comes on and off. And again, constructions have no constraints on your project. You can constrain to them, but they are effectively invisible as far as extrudes are concerned. Now, to do a cup holder, we need to make sure that we have the diameter. And we want to be on center, because good lord, we don't want this thing off center. So this allows us to grab on center. And here's the cool thing. If we hit D for dimension, we can actually dimension how tall we want this to be. So let's say we want it to be 100. And when we want to do our circle, which again is C for circle, we can just slowly come down here, and the X means that we've grabbed it. And eventually we're going to find a triangle. There it is. That triangle tells us we are dead in the center. And so when we go out to 94 millimeters, it'll work. But we're going to have a problem. I'm going to do this because I want to show the problem. But now it's all black, which means I can't move it. This outer line is black, which means I can't drag this and move it. We have a constraint. And the constraint is a midpoint constraint. And so to get rid of it, literally delete. And now we're back being able to do what we want. So now we can take this and drag it any distance that we want. Now this is a pretty freaking heavy water bottle. And 60 millimeters up, I might end up grabbing a third one on here. We're going to show you how to do that. But we want it to be enough away. And we can actually measure this by going to create point. We can grab a point right at the bottom, and we can grab another point right there. So we can hit a dimension tool and actually dimension between the 2 points, and it's D again for dimension. We're at 7.3 yada yada millimeters. We gotta be probably a little farther than that. Let's go with 8. And there you go. It's now constrained it. And if we decide later on that we want to change something, it's really easy for us to go back and fix it. And again, just like we did to do the offsets here, we're going to hit escape to get rid of the dimension tool. O for offset. And we're able to now decide how much of an offset that we want. Now, we want to make sure we got a big offset. I'm going to go with a 9 millimeter offset. But you might be saying, wait a minute, Grant, it's going to intersect. I know. That's the idea. That's how we get the stuff to stick together. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we have an actual base to it. And this is a 32-ounce water bottle. It's one of those double vacuum insulated yada yadas. But that's a big deal because that means it's freaking heavy, right? Water is 8 pounds per gallon. So let's look at, I'm thinking 5 millimeters. So it wants to go down, which we don't want. So we're going to go -5 millimeters. And now it wants to cut. But here's what's gonna happen. When I hit join, you're gonna see all these bodies fuse together. Take a look. Wait, did it? Now, every time you do your first extrude, your sketch is going to go away, but we still need it where we're going. We're gonna do another one, and we want to extrude up to the top of this. This, for sure, is going to join these two pieces together. So when I click join, it's likely, yep, okay, there it goes. So it got rid of the line in between them. We're gonna fix that at the end. We're not gonna worry about it right now. And so if you all have known me long enough, what are we gonna do? We're gonna fillet it because we put that on everything. F for fillet to make this nice and smooth. Maybe, I don't know, 5 millimeters sounds good. Now we do have a thing here. We've got a radius down here, so we might get lucky enough to have, I don't know, maybe a 2 millimeter fillet, something to make it a little bit stronger. We're gonna go back and we're gonna do the freaking drafts. Let's do it, boys. Let's do the draft. It's actually technically a taper angle for this, but oh, you know what? No, screw it. Let's do a real draft. Let's do a real freaking draft. We've got what we want to draft, which is that, hello, that. The face is this, and we want to draft, oh, actually, we don't want that face, we want that face. All right, we're gonna do a 0.5 degree taper. There you go. So we've now tapered it, which gives us 47.48 millimeters at the top and 47 at the bottom, which is really cool. So it'll just taper it out. We want it to go to a 1 degree taper. We can, and that is technically more than adequate to be drafted. All right, so now we can bring back the fillet, and it's totally happy, which is awesome. Now, we want to have it be a lot stronger, so we're going to add some fillets over to here. But we need to make sure that we can still access the nuts, so let's just drag it out a minute. Yeah, that ain't bad. So there you go, it's grabbing onto more meat. Let's add some drain holes. And we're gonna do a circular pattern to do it. We're gonna do a circle, I don't know. I'm gonna show you another trick here. You don't have to always work in millimeters or inches. You can do 0.25 IN, and even though I was working in millimeters, now we can do inches. And it's just gonna show up as 6.35, because that's what it actually is. Now, dummy over here should have actually put it on this line. And we want to see how far I want it from that, from that center point. So let's hit D for dimension. Let's grab to the center points. We are 34 point something or other. Let's just go a nice smooth 30 millimeters. Cool beans. We're now going to come in here and we're going to do a circular pattern. We're going to go and grab that. We're going to go with my center point. And it's a full wraparound, ladies and gentlemen, so we can go as many as we want. We can turn this thing up. So we got lots of drain holes. These are not necessary. That's excessive. Let's go with 6. And we're going to do one more circle in the middle. But this one says it's going to be 6.35. Right? So again, I can do it in millimeters or inches. Okay, so we're going to finish the sketch. We're going to bring it back. We're going to hit E for extrude. We're going to grab every one of these. And there we go. We have our holes. We're going to get rid of the sketch. We're going to fillet it because we freaking can. Let's go ahead and save this where we're at right now. I agree with Justin, though. We should do the Voronoi pattern. So we're going to freaking do it. There it is. Woo! Let's do it. We're gonna send it with some Voronoi. Oh, dude, this is gonna be so cool. Construction plane. Okay, so it needs a construction plane. Oh, no, it doesn't. I can go to sketch 6. Oh, dang. Oh, this is cool. I want lots of cells. Oh, that is so dope. I have never done this before, ladies and gentlemen. This is real This is cool. Let's do it on the base real quick, and let's see what happens. Or do I have to publish it? Oh, I bet I have to publish it. Dang it, Bobby. Publish. I unfortunately... Oh. That's not... What? Let's see how we move the sketch. Because that's really what I want to do. I don't want to have to move the part. I guess I can. I know we talked about moving parts, but... Justin, how the heck do you move these sketches? Do you know? I also want to see what you did to make it look cool. So let's take a look at what you did. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. So you got your Voronoi sketch, but how did you get it to fit there? Am I just dumb? Do it from the inside. Oh, look at you. We're gonna do a new sketch on the inside, which is what we really needed. We're gonna project everything because we can. We're gonna do a Voronoi on that sketch. We're gonna make it nice and tiny. We only need it to be, let's do 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. Voronoi editor. Okay, that's what I was looking for. What is relaxation? This is just too flippin' cool. Oh, it's like they get rounded out with relaxation. I guess that kind of works for humans too. All right. And apparently we can go to other shapes. Dude. Oh, that kind of sucks though. I like curved. I like curved. I think it's cool. Still messes up on me. Dang it, Bobby. Okay, so it's constrained with inside that sketch. I have a way around this. It's going to be huge, but I think it's going to be okay. And he screwed it up one more time, so we're done. We're not doing Voronoi. I'm sorry. I'm just an idiot. So it's not going to work. Maybe we'll learn that next time, but there you go. I don't know how the cup holder's going to handle it, but hey, that's okay. Now, let's say we wanted to make it taller. We can easily do that, but before we make it taller, let's cut it. Hey, at least I showed you how to do it. I didn't show you how to do it right. I never said I'd show you how to do things right. You did it correct the second to last time. You just had to move it. Well, so, all right. Now we need to find this body. We're going to hide it because we need to do something. We need to go into modify, and we need to split this freaking body. We're going to split that body using the splitting tool of the bottom. And that is, once again, going to return us to what we need to have. That's not it. Is it that? There we go. Now we got our two pieces. There you go. That's it. We got our cup holder. Now, if it's a little too small, that's okay. Because we can go ahead, and actually, if we want to do that, we're going to get rid of this fillet. So to get rid of the fillet, but just for now, we're going to suppress the feature, and that just gets rid of it. Also gets rid of the bottom fillet, but hey, who's counting? We want to copy. So we can move and copy. Actually, you can just do, I can highlight the body, which is this, and I can hit Control-C and Control-V because it works precisely the way that you would think. And I can move it right up there to create that copy, and there you go. I went from 60 to 90 millimeters tall. Nice and simple, and all I would have to do is do the exact same for the back half. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and again, hey, we love that you're here. Don't forget to get subscribed, and let us know in the comments what you want to see made in the next live stream. I don't promise it's going to be successful, but I'm going to work the hardest I can. My name's Grant, this is 3D Musketeers. Don't forget to call your loved ones, stay safe out there, and keep making awesome. Interact with us. I'm gonna do it myself because I'm a big girl and I wear big girl pants.